Right now on First Coast News at 11, a frightening attack at a library. A gunman forces a woman into her car, and tonight police need your help.
Plus, he kidnapped and murdered a priest, but avoids the death penalty. Tonight, reactions from the Catholic Church.
And hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on security at UF, and taxpayers will have to foot the bill.
First Coast News at 11 starts right now.
And first at 11, the search is on for a man accused of sexually assaulting and trying to rob a woman at a Jacksonville library.
It happened this week in the parking lot at Brown East Side Library. The suspect remains on the run tonight. Julia Janae is live from that library. Julia, what do police have to go on at this point?
Brittany, the details right now are limited, but police say they do have one thing: surveillance video on the building. Library officials say police are using that in their investigation. But here's what the victim told them happened. She brought her car to this library about an hour before it opened, actually an hour before sunrise, still dark like it is right now. She was here to use city Wi-Fi and brought out her laptop, sat here on the ground. That's when a man approached her with a gun. Now, after he attempted to rob her, he then forced her into her car, and that's where police say he sexually battered her. They suspect that the man was under the influence of alcohol at the time. According to the police report, the library spokesperson Chris Bovin says no children or library staff or patrons were here when this happened. It was 3 hours before the library opened and before school hours as well. Now, we have a photo that was released from that surveillance camera. They think it captured a witness to the crime who is actually talking to the suspect during this incident, but the woman says that she didn't understand what they were saying. Now, the suspect they are looking for is a black male with a dark complexion, 30 to 40 years old and approximately 5'11". He's also described as having a goatee. The victim was transported to Shands Hospital after she was attacked on Monday. If you have any information about the suspect or the witness, you are asked to call police. For now, reporting live from the east side, Julia Janae, First Coast News, on your side.
Julia, thank you. In a Georgia courtroom today, Stephen Murray confessed to killing a beloved St. Augustine priest. Because of his confession, he will avoid the death penalty. Investigators say Murray shot and killed 71-year-old Father Rene Robert in Georgia after asking him for a ride in Jacksonville. First Coast News reporter Honey Rodriguez spoke with a fellow priest who says this is the outcome Father Robert would have wanted. Honey.
That's exactly right, Anthony. It came to no surprise to the retired priest that I spoke with earlier today that Father Robert would have a declaration of life. And I want to show you this stone here in memory of him, in honor of him. It says, "A loving and faithful servant." And these words could not be more perfect to describe who Father Rene Robert was. Some choose to pay back evil with evil. But for Father Rene Robert, forgiveness was the only choice.
There was no rancor or revenge in his heart for stuff.
Longtime friend, retired Catholic priest Father Edward Rooney says Father Robert was always going above and beyond to help others.
He was sincere. He was had a good heart.
He tells me he often helped those who were most troubled, including a man by the name of Stephen Murray, who later kidnapped and shot Father Robert April of last year. Murray was sentenced to life in prison on Wednesday.
We pray for him, that he will find God's forgiveness.
Although forgiveness won't change the past, it did change Murray's future. Father Robert signed a declaration of life more than 20 years ago, asking if he was ever murdered, the killer would not be sentenced to death.
When I heard about it, I said, yeah, that's Rene.
Father Rooney says the Catholic Church firmly stands against the death penalty.
You don't stop people killing people by killing people.
But he calls it an unusual coincidence that Father Robert signed this document.
To sign a declaration like that, number one. Number two, to have it actually happen in reality.
But he'll always be remembered as a loving and faithful servant.
He has done God's work. It wasn't the way that we would like to see it go, but that's the way it happened.
For a timeline of events on this tragic story, you can head to our website on firstcoastnews.com. We'll also have that declaration of life on our website as well. For now, reporting live from Fleming Island, I'm Honey Rodriguez, First Coast News on your side.
And a couple of showers out in your neck of the woods, Honey. Actually, we've got some bands of rain that's rolling in off of the Atlantic at this hour, and we'll continue to see this trend as we head into the overnight hours. And really south of St. Simon's Island, that's about it along the coastal areas, some of them creeping just west of I-95. That's all we're really going to see this evening. So some of you on the south side possibly waking up to some pitter patters on your window, and maybe the lawn and the driveways will be a bit wet in the morning. But all of this rain is going to really stick again wet or east of Highway 301 tomorrow as we head into the afternoon. Some of them may creep a little farther inland, but with that wind coming out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour overnight, it's keeping things a bit soggy. Currently, temperatures are at 71 in Jacksonville. We're already at 64 degrees in Lake City, and I think they've still got several more degrees that they're going to cool off until the early morning hours. So again, winds right now blowing very strong, especially along the coast. Anthony, we'll have your full 7-day talking about a warm-up trend as we head into the weekend.
Lauren, thank you. Happening right now, hundreds of officers are patrolling the campus of the University of Florida, bracing for possible violence and protest ahead of a speech tomorrow given by a white supremacist. Tonight, we've learned more than $500,000 will be spent on security, and taxpayers will foot the bill. First Coast News reporter Alex Ositis is at UF with a look at security preps.
The increased presence on UF's campus is noticeable. You can see here the barricades set up along walkways near the Performing Arts Center, where Richard Spencer is set to speak tomorrow. Alachua County under a state of emergency. Officers patrolling campus and streamers hanging from light posts showing the direction of the wind in case gas is used. All of this expected to cost more than $500,000. Now, we spoke with students on UF's campus tonight. Here's what they had to say about their safety.
So I was a little more worried, I guess, now that I see the people here than I was earlier.
Yeah, I would say so a little bit, but I'm going to do my best to kind of stay away from it and just kind of focus on what I need to be doing right now.
We're continuing to follow this from Gainesville. We'll have updates for you live on GMJ starting at 4:30 a.m. I'm Alex Ositis in Gainesville. First Coast News on your side.
Thank you, Alex. Students at UF are coming together to send a different message about who they are in light of tomorrow's events. First Coast News hung up a banner with the words, "I believe," and allowed students to fill in the blanks. Photojournalist Nick Marone has a look at what happened next.
I believe in change. I think we can make this world a better place if we all just unite and just protest against these racist beliefs that he's going to speak about.
I believe in humanity.
I believe in Gator Nation.
I believe that love is more powerful than anything that hate can do, and that love is more important to spread than any message.
I'm writing superiority has no place in a society thriving for equality and the common good.
I wrote that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere by Martin Luther King.
Hate speech has no place here.
We will overcome. As the Gator Nation, we can overcome anything, any hate, anything that comes our way, we can do it together.
Because I have faith that people can love each other, understand each other.
I feel like a lot of people just think that anything they can say is okay because it's protected under free speech, but telling me that my friends don't deserve to be alive because of who they are or where they're from doesn't deserve a place on campus.
I'm writing spread love, not hate. I just think with everything happening in the world right now, everybody needs to come together and respect each other and love each other and not dwell on what we're all divided against and what brings us together. This is a lot of feelings. It's just really overwhelming too.
Just hope that
future because we've made progress from who we were, and we just have to continue to be better than that.
These are like human ideals. Like we shouldn't even have to do this. Like I'm glad that we are, but we shouldn't have to.
We are all the same people. We bleed the same color. We should all love each other and not hate each other.
Love can and will defeat hate.
I think it's just a time we all need to come together, and love is going to overpower all this. We have so much love at this campus.
That was absolutely beautiful. Reporting on a speech by a white supremacist is no doubt a controversial decision. So you may be wondering about our thought process behind it.
Our news director, Megan Harris, explains how we came to this decision.
A lot of viewers have reached out to us on Facebook and email and asked, why are you covering Richard Spencer's speech at the University of Florida? I've thought about that a lot. I've asked myself the same thing. We all remember the images from Charlottesville. That was a Richard Spencer rally too. I couldn't help but think at the time, that's not who we are. That's not who we are as Americans. I remember my 6-year-old daughter commenting that the Torch March looked like a scene from the movie Beauty and the Beast. You know, when the angry townsmen stormed the castle? Part of the beauty of this wonderful country is our freedom of speech, even if it's a message many of us disagree with. We spend a lot of time discussing the responsibility we have as journalists in our newsroom. We will not fuel the flames. We aren't the story. And we don't want to provide a platform to hate. With that said, we believe knowledge is power, and the country can't come together without knowing what's separating us. We will cover the events in Gainesville. We will not show Spencer's speech live. We will provide context. Our coverage will be dictated by the events. We are sending multiple crews, but I'm hoping we don't even have to use all those crews. We promise to keep you informed, though, on every platform, and we promise to bring you coverage that's both thought-provoking and responsible. You know, the cost of security for this event has already topped $500,000. The governor has declared a state of emergency, and many of our viewers, like you, either have children at UF or perhaps you're an alumni. That's why we've deemed these events surrounding the speech newsworthy. You know, I pray that the events on Thursday, that they'll be peaceful. But whatever happens, we promise that we will report the news responsibly and with transparency.
And once again, that was our news director, Megan Harris. Well, coming up on First Coast News at 11 tonight, Shad Khan is taking aim at President Trump once again. The reason he claims the president is jealous of the NFL.
Driver's license, and I promise to be nice, okay?
And talk about a close call. A driver nearly runs over a Florida deputy. The story behind this next.
And we got a little taste of fall earlier this week. Some of you may still think it's feeling like fall, but a real taste of cooler weather is already setting the stage across the Pacific Northwest when we start to feel those effects coming up.
New tonight at 11, Shad Khan says President Trump is, quote, jealous of the NFL because he failed to buy a team of his own in 2014. Our partners at USA Today Sports caught up with the Jags owner in Manhattan. When asked about the president's latest criticisms of the league, Khan said it's a very personal issue for Trump and it's, quote, about money or trying to soil a league or a brand that he's jealous of. Khan also spoke about the irony of the president accusing the NFL for a lack of patriotism, while Trump is also accused of disrespecting the family of a fallen soldier, which the president denies.
Driver's license, and I promise to be nice, okay?
Look at that. Now on to some must-see video. A Florida police officer is grazed by a drunk driver while pulling over another drunk driver. This all happened in Lakeland. Police say the car did not stop or slow down even after the officer was hit. Turns out the driver who hit him was nearly twice the legal limit. The officer, fortunately, is okay tonight.
To say the mosquito outbreak in St. Johns County is bad is an understatement. Anastasia Island Mosquito Control says this is the worst year in memory for mosquitoes. In the last week alone, officials say they got about 900 calls from people complaining about mosquitoes. Some say it's hard to even walk their dogs without getting swarmed. And according to the St. Augustine Record, the county has already spent at least $700,000 on aerial spraying.
In Glenn County, a case of mistaken identity may have led to the deaths of a Brunswick couple and their grandson. According to an indictment, the man charged with killing the Hollymans may have been at the wrong house. Documents say this man, 22-year-old Roger Owens, intended to break into a nearby home of a rival gang member, but instead he allegedly went into the wrong home and killed Carson Vondell and Christopher Hollyman back in June. Neighbors in that area tell us the family were good people who never caused any trouble. Their grandson, we're told, was also special needs.
A man and woman were shot at a West Side apartment, and tonight the shooter nowhere to be found. It all happened at the La Casa Prima Apartments, that's on Ricker Road. The man and woman were taken to the hospital. Both are expected to survive. The shooter, we're told, took off in a car. So if you have any information to help police, you can call Crime Stoppers at 866-845-TIPS. Remember, your call will remain anonymous.
Closing arguments get underway tomorrow morning in the case against Kevin Rojas. He's the 20-year-old man accused of shooting an undercover JSO detective during a traffic stop. The detective was taking his son to school when he noticed Rojas driving erratically. The detective tried to stop Rojas, and that's when Rojas opened fire. Today, several witnesses, including a JSO officer and 2 nurses, testified that Rojas told them he shot the detective because he didn't want to go back to jail.
Good news for people who enjoy Jack's Beach. Parts of the pier could open by the spring. Just parts of it, though. The future of the Jacksonville Beach Pier is still being discussed. This morning, City Council members met downtown to discuss the damage to the pier following Hurricane Matthew, along with what it would take to not only repair the pier but enhance it. Right now, City Council members are working on an engineering plan and a new design for it. Officials expect FEMA to fund those repairs.
Well, last week we told you about Buc-ee's coming to the First Coast, and Texas natives are really excited about it.
But some people here are not too happy about it. A petition on change.org claims the large gas station would bring major traffic problems, vagrants, and unwanted noise to World Golf Village. It already has more than 600 signatures. Buc-ee's is no ordinary gas station. It has 120 gas pumps and is more than 50,000 square feet. That's larger than a typical Publix or Winn-Dixie, and 8 times the size of most gas stations in our area.
That is huge. You're from Texas, right?
I am. I know all about Buc-ee's, but some people don't want it here. That's their right.
On to something good. How's the weather?
Hey, I was going to say, you know, to each his own with that one. But hey, as far as the weather goes, Texas, Florida, up into the Carolinas, we've all been seeing some pretty similar weather conditions this week. And that's thanks to what's happening across the U.S. with this weather pattern. We've got 2 big high pressure zones. And really, it was pretty incredible to just see the amount of sunshine and above average temperatures that we saw across the majority of the United States today. The 2 exceptions are South Florida with this stationary frontal boundary that has just parked itself and continuing to bring some rain. It brought us the cooler conditions earlier this week. And then also Washington State beginning to see the impacts of what will be our next cold front as we head towards next week. About this time we'll begin to feel some cooler air roll in. So the good news with this thing is that Northern California will finally get some much needed rain because of all of the fires that the firefighters have been dealing with out there, of course. So this is going to bring some beneficial rain to those folks, and it's just keeping this active fall pattern in place. So this time of year, we can really begin to expect these cold fronts come on a weekly basis. So our temperatures are going to kind of roller coaster for a bit. Right now, we're heading up that roller coaster ride on a warming trend, generally speaking. For Lake City Middle, though, the kids may need a light sweater in the early morning hours if they are a true Floridian. 66 degrees for Love Grove Elementary in Jacksonville. Closer to the coast, though, we are going to be more mild in the lower 70s. That's thanks to the wind. That's thanks to some clouds and also some of those showers rolling in. Coolest spots tomorrow are going to be along the beaches. Strong rip currents, breezy, possibly a brief shower. And some of those showers tomorrow making it as far west as Highway 301. So we'll keep an eye on it, but by any means not a washout. And you may just want to keep the umbrella in the car just in case you have to run out and you do get caught in one of those downpours. Overall, we are staying mostly dry though, and that's through about Saturday. Shower chances will begin to increase on Sunday, and then with that cold front finally approaching, some storms by Monday and Tuesday, and then that cool down comes by Wednesday, Anthony.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Here are your winning Powerball numbers. The jackpot, $156.1 million. Your numbers, 69, 54, 49, 30, 66. The Powerball is 8. Good luck.
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
One thing that's obvious to anyone breathing air on this earth is that Jaguars' Calais Campbell is pure domination. But I'm not talking about being second in the league for sacks so far this year. It's no secret last week's loss to LA was a tough one. I was in the locker room after the game Sunday, and it was obvious the guys were mad. Leonard Fournette had another blistering day, but he wanted the win. Fournette and Campbell's lockers, well, they're side by side. And after the game, Calais was lending lots of helpful veteran advice, telling him how pushing through weeks like this will make him better in the long run. I caught up with Calais today to talk more about how he goes about keeping the rookies and the rest of the team up and ready for another week.
One thing that I think we all have to understand is that one game is just one game. You know, win, lose, or draw, you play good, you play bad, it's one game. You know, it can't carry over to the next week. You know, I mean, you have to separate the weeks, and this week is very important. You know, and you know, so I just want to make sure that the guys understand that, okay, you know, we learn from it, shake it off, and then put all your efforts into winning this game.
After announcing the release of kicker Jason Myers yesterday, the Jags' new kicker Josh Lambo rolled into Everbank today. And after being released from the Chargers this past September, Lambo says he's happy to be back with the squad.
You know, it happens to the best of everybody in this league. You know, in order for someone to get a job, you have to beat somebody out, and it's going to happen to you as well. So I've just been trying to stay positive, and, you know, I've surrounded myself with it's a really good support group. My family's been awesome. My girlfriend's been super supportive and stellar throughout this whole process. And now I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, it was a big game tonight for the Armada facing Edmonton. It'd be Jack Blake here to strike first. Wait for it. There it is. Put the biscuit in the basket. The Armada takes a 1-0 advantage there, but Edmonton would equalize in the 61st minute. But the Armada would come away with 1 point. So if they can come away with 3 on Sunday by beating New York, they could have a shot at the postseason play. But of course, they do need a win over the Cosmos this coming Sunday. All right, let's talk some high school football. Our Week 9 game of the week, the votes are tallied. We will be heading to Charlton County for our big Week 9 game of the week. Live coverage will start Friday at 5 o'clock. Thank you to everyone who voted. Charlton County, get ready. We are coming for you. All right, time now to check out our hashtag Team Sideline photo. This one coming to us from the Middleburg cheerleaders, and those ladies look lovely last night, taking on Inglewood in some Tuesday night lights, and I think good news, they got the win last night. All right, of course, we want you to snap those photos and videos, post them on Twitter and Instagram using the hashtag Team Sideline. We'll be right back.